Hey guys, Imagine Create Destroy here. Today, I'm going to be building a medieval tavern and absolutely destroying it. Before we get started, let's go ahead and get this last build out of the way. This build is going to be inspired by this gut ripper set that I got. I wanted to make them a medieval tavern, somewhere where they can bring back their loot, call base. I went ahead and just did a little drawing here, kind of give me an idea of where I wanted to go. I wanted a little tower in the background and just a couple little side buildings. So here I'm just going to use a little foam core, cut everything out from here. It's pretty much what I use for the whole build. Now I wanted to get a nice rock texture on this wall. I thought I could freehand it, but it did not end up working well. I ended up just cutting slices and then using the pin to make the indents a little bit bigger. Now I'm just going to carve some lines to make some wood panels for these doors. Use this scalpel here to kind of scratch it out, give it some texture. Then I'm going to use my pin vise here, add some holes, just like little nail holes in the door. Go ahead and cut out the bottom here, hit it with some peeling action. And I'm going to go ahead and just bash the crap out of it with this tin foil. Adds a really nice texture to the wall there, makes everything really random. A little camera magic here to just skip through the boringness of me cutting out 2 more squares. Go ahead and glue in some doors here. That's looking pretty damn good if I do say so myself. We'll go ahead and get started on this second floor. Skip through that. I accidentally forgot to record myself gluing, so you can just go ahead and pretend like I'm doing that here. Now, since I'm not a big fan of sitting in a square room with no windows, we'll go ahead and make some of those. Just measuring out even spaces so they're all evened out. Go ahead and hit this with some peely wheelie dealies now. And hey, yo, bro, get off of the building like that. What are y'all doing? I mean, I guess it's a good thing I needed a second building, but that could have been bad. And we'll add some doors, a couple more floors here, get this thing looking stacked up nice. And it is a tavern, so we're missing one other thing that ends with the word or, but we'll add those off camera. I don't know if it's just me or not, but sometimes this hot glue just drips in the right way and it makes me think, like, damn bro, maybe I should give her a call back. And we'll go ahead and get started on the officers' quarters. Now these officers are particularly lazy. They don't like to leave their confinements except to restock on meat and party essentials. We won't be seeing these officers since they're going to be partying too hard to be leaving, but I'm going to go ahead and paint up those gut rippers as the grunts doing the dirty work. We'll go ahead and see what kind of adventures they get themselves into a little bit towards the end of the video. What's a project without a little sacrifice to the crafting gods, right? Let's go ahead and get started on the watchtower. I'm going to keep this pretty simple. I just wanted to use it to keep as a lookout for everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a big rectangle, pretend like there's a ladder inside for them to get up there. And here I'm just measuring out evenly, so when I do glue it into place, it doesn't look all wonky and off. This is actually one of my favorite details from the whole build. I went ahead and used some balsa wood strips to cut out these triangles and then those kind of like half circles, I guess you can call them. I'm going to use this foam and some hot glue, and I just pinned it down into place and just held it until the hot glue held it in place, and the shapes that I got at the end are really cool. I like how the roofs are kind of a little different with the offset, and then they're hanging off on the sides. Really like how that came out. So with the roofs for the rest of the house, I really wanted to give it kind of that whimsical feel to where the roof's kind of curved and sloped down. So I just cut out some triangles. I traced that out with a pin to give it the slope, and then I just reversed it onto the other one so I could cut out both sides and they were even. And here I accidentally measured, so I just added a little width to make it the same height walls as the other ones. I'll add in some supports for the roofs. Now we'll get started on the wood beams. I'm going to fill these with stucco later, gives it that classic tavern look. And I'll just keep my mouth shut now for a little bit while we enjoy this cool time lapse of me finishing these wood slats. And my favorite part, cutting out a bunch of wood. I really liked the look this gave, but I feel like it was a bit too simple. I think I'm gonna try something different. I'm not too sure yet. I think it just didn't have enough depth for my taste. And now I have some Spanish frosted flakes. I think it's really funny that the box is in Spanish, but it still says cereal at the bottom. Don't know why. I'm gonna use this for the roof slats. Just go ahead and cut these out to size. I kind of just guesstimated here. I think I made them like 0.4 inches in total. But you can do it however you feel looks appropriate. After we cut out these strips, I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and periodically cut up. Doesn't have to be perfect, and we're going to use those to make the shingles. After we're done there, I just bent them out of place, and it just made it look not so flat, gave it some depth. I really enjoyed putting on the roof here. I feel like the build really started coming together after this, and I cannot tell you how many of these shingles I had to cut out. I would paste and glue them on, and then I'd be short. I'd make more, think that was enough. Nope. I'd make 30 more, not enough. 30 more, not enough. But the final look really was very worth it. I love the way these shingles came out. Go ahead and prime that off camera. Now for the stucco, I completely messed this up at first. I tried to use this modeling paste, a little water, and some paint to give it the color. It was so thick, this stuff ended up going on so bad. I got it everywhere. But honestly, that wasn't the worst part. This stuff, when it dried, it lost so much of its volume. It just sank in and it looked so ugly. I was so mad. You can kind of see that here. So I went and bought this plaster of Paris, and I did the same thing. You just mix it with water. I mix it with a little paint, but this stuff was thin enough. I was able to put it in this lure lock bottle, and it gave me so much more control. I was able to clean everything up. And then for the rest of the walls, I went ahead and just used this technique, and it really, really looked great. For the front, since I was really unsatisfied with how messy it was, I just came through with some black paint, and it looked a lot better than I thought. This was really, really annoying me for a while, and it was ruining the build for me. It looked so bad, but it ended up coming together really nice, so I'm definitely happy with this. And shout out to Black Magic Craft. That's where I got the painting technique for this. If anybody wants a video, you can leave a comment. I can send you guys a link to it. It's such a good rock technique. I love the textures and the different color variations that came with it. It's really simple. I just used a tan paint as the base, a couple layers there. I used a medium gray and a golden brown for the rock highlights. And then I'm going to come through with a suede dry brush there, and then a little white dry brushing at the end. And after I do a brown wash and a green wash, it looks really, really good. Here for the roof, I chose this really nice lavender color. Like I was saying, I did want to do the whimsical feel to it, so I really liked the purple that it brought some color. And then I just lightened that purple up with a little white to dry brush and give some depth on the roof there. The door is real simple here. I just used a dark brown paint, and then I came through with some lighter browns to dry brush, just to add some depth to the wood there, and so it wasn't so singular colored. I think I used a tan here, and then pretty much almost a complete white. It was like a parchment off-white color. Some finishing touches on the window seals here. I just gave it some metal. I was thinking maybe like a nice metal window frame would look pretty cool with this. So let's go ahead and get started on the patios now. I'm gonna keep this pretty simple. Just use some balsa wood sticks and some strips, and just outline the shape of the patio across the building. Go ahead and prime those off camera. I'm sure some of y'all have noticed there's still some holes where windows should go. This was my original plan. I was going to leave it like this and then use these squares to glue over the top. I ended up running out of wood sticks, so I kind of scrapped that through the middle. Now that that's looking good, we'll go ahead and get started on this winch / pulley system. I wanted a way for them to be able to get like heavy supplies up to the 3rd floor, so I came up with this really cool winch design. I use these gears from this little like button kit I got from Walmart. They were really cheap. Go ahead and prime that off camera, and we'll just paint it. I gave the gears a nice metal silver look. I think it came out really, really good. Now that that's finished and painted up, we'll just glue this into place along with all the other nice little cool bits and bobs that I made. I did these little support posts off camera just so the building didn't look so precarious. Some more little details here. I just used my Cricut to cut this out. I'm not doing that by hand. Way too intricate for me. And now another one of my favorite parts. We'll just finish up with some washes here. There's a really nice grime look to this. I just did a black wash on the roof, and like I was saying earlier, I did a really nice brown and green wash here for the stone. Really came together nice. There was one thing I messed up. For this first black wash that I did an oil black wash with oil paints and paint thinner, and I didn't leave it to dry before I put my Agrax Earthshade Brown from Citadel over the top. And I think since that wasn't like an oil based with paint thinner, it didn't mix very well, so that brown left some really ugly like brown spots on the wall. Wasn't quite a fan of the way it looked. It's really nothing I can do about it after it was done, but I think that's something for next time that I'll fix. Go ahead and add a little snow. And don't forget, guys, never eat yellow snow, especially when there's orcs around. So I know y'all got to see the gut rippers at the beginning, but this is Larry. Larry is not a big fan of the gut rippers. Larry here got his favorite pistol stolen a few years back. Larry did get his pistol back, but he's made it his life goal to take out anybody who knew the first orc that got his pistol. If you notice closely, you can see some nice green leathers that he made out of that first orc, just to show everybody that he is not messing around. Go ahead and finish up the bases here and call this whole project a day. Meet Gork, Lump, and this last one over here is Frank. Now these poor bastards are about to be on the wrong end of Larry's mace here. Let's roll the beauty shots and bash this thing to pieces. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. Any likes, comments, subscribes really do help out a ton. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Have an amazing day, guys.